Okay, Hari Om and good morning. Welcome to the VEDIC education program organized by Sugam Samkhaaraa in collaboration with Sri Gayathri Peetam, endorsed by Ministry of Education of Malaysia and sponsored by Tirchi. So we'll start today's class with the universal prayer in both English and Tamil. One moment, sorry.
And love, salutations and prostrations unto thee. Thou art omnipresent, omnipotent, omniscient. Thou art Satchit Ananda, existence, knowledge, bliss. Thou art the indweller of all beings. Grant us an understanding heart, equal vision, balanced mind, faith, devotion, and wisdom. Grant us inner spiritual strength to resist temptations and to control the mind. Free us from egoism, lust, greed, anger, hatred, and jealousy. Fill our hearts with divine virtues. Let us behold Thee in all these names and forms. Let us serve Thee in all these names and forms. Let us ever remember Thee. Let us ever sing Thy glories. Let Thy name be ever on our lips. Let us abide in Thee forever and ever. Om Tat Sat.
Okay, next is the Tamil one.
கருணையும் அன்பும் நிறைந்த இறைவா, எல்லா உயிர்களிலும் ஊடுருவி எங்கும் நிறைந்து சர்வ வல்லமையும் பொருந்திய சர்வஜ்ஞ ஞான சச்சிதானந்த பரம்பொருளாம் உம்மை வணங்கி பணிகின்றோம். மெய்ப்பொருள் காணும் உள்ளம், சமநோக்கு, நிலை பெற்ற மனம், சிரத்தை, பக்தி, ஞானம் இவைகளை எங்களுக்கு அருள்வீராக. ஆணவம், காமம், பேராசை, கோபம், வெறுப்பு இவைகளிலிருந்து எங்களை விடுவித்து எங்கள் உள்ளங்களில் தூய தெய்வீக குணங்களை நிரப்புவீராக. எல்லா உருவங்களிலும் பெயர்களிலும் உம்மையே தரிசித்து சேவை செய்வோமாக. எந்நேரமும் உம்மையே சிந்திப்போமாக. என்றென்றும் உமது புகழை பாடுவோமாக. எப்போதும் எங்களது நாவினில் உமது திருநாமம் விளங்குக. என்றென்றும் உம்முள்ளே நிலை பெற்று விளங்குவோமாக. ஓம் தத் சத்.
Okay, good morning. So today your class will be the lesson 13, pilgrimage. So when I took your class 2 weeks ago, we did a topic called devotional practice at home. So during that time, there were some topics. There were some some devotional practice. I mentioned that you need to do it outside. That means not at home. So this is one of it that we will cover today. So what we will be covering today is we will see what is pilgrimage, the different places of pilgrimage, and then besides the ones that we cover today, there are actually many other places that people go for pilgrimage. So those I'll just give an overview. What are those places? And then we will do some exercise and then we will end today's class. Okay. So what you will have at the end of the lessons, what you would have understand is able to identify different places of pilgrimage, able to understand the purpose of why you do all this pilgrimage, why you need to go to these places and all, able to understand the significance of each pilgrimage sites. So the pilgrimage sites that we are going to cover today will have, each of it will have its own story, why it came up about, what is a special thing, some special events happen at these temples, all these are there. So you'll be able to understand why this temple is important. Okay. and then you'll able to identify stories related to each pilgrimage sites. So the pilgrimage site that I will be covering today, they are also short stories and videos that I've put in into, so you'll be able to understand why, how these temples came about. So before we go into the Hinduism part of the pilgrimage sites, let's see on an overview on the other religions, what are their pilgrimage sites. So your Muslim friends, your Christian friends, your Sikh friends, also your Buddhist friends, all of them have their own pilgrimage sites as well. Not only Hinduism, but other religions in the world also have their own holy sites, pilgrimage site that they go and visit. Okay, so example for your Muslim friends, they go and do their Haji in Mecca or Medina, is their pilgrimage site. So for your Christian friends, there's Jerusalem. For your Sikhism friend, there's the Golden Temple of Amritsar. And for Buddhist friends, they go to the Bodh Gaya in Bihar, where they believe it is where Siddhartha Gautama achieved enlightenment. Okay, so this is what, on the whole, other religions also go and visit these places to perform their own pilgrimage based on their own religious beliefs. Okay, as such, we also have many pilgrimage sites. And what is pilgrimage? Pilgrimage is actually a religious discipline or one of the Prayaschitta Vrata. Prayaschitta Vrata meaning vrata means a vow that you take about and you do it. Vow means it's like a promise that I will go to this place and I will do this prayers there. So it's a vow that you take upon yourself, and you go and do this pilgrimage. And the most important thing when you do this pilgrimage is the attitude you have while doing this worship. You should have the attitude of devotion when you go and do this play. It's not like you go just simply visit, pray, and come back. It's something that starts from where you are. So most of the temple that we are going to cover today, I mean, all of the temples that we are going to cover today is in India. So your journey of your vrata, your vow, starts from your home up till you get to the temple. So it is actually that journey of how sincere are you, how you go through all the obstacles that you come about, and then you go and successfully do your prayers. So throughout the thing, it is actually how you are devoted to the Lord and you show sincerity and go about it. Okay, and pilgrimage is also known as yatra, and the places of pilgrimage it's known as tirtha. Okay, so yatra is a pilgrimage of the journey that you go through, and tirtha is the place that you visit. Okay, and another reason why people go and do this pilgrimage is for atonement of one's wrong action. That means they would have done some mistake and they feel very guilty about, so they go and visit these places and believe they can dissolve all the bad karma and get good karma in their life. Okay, so that is another reason why people do this pilgrimage. Besides that is the experience itself, from your journey from your home up till the temple, that it is believed when you visit all these places you will get peace in mind and it will inspire you to be a better person in life. So that is another reason why people do pilgrimage. So the next slide we will see is what are the places of pilgrimage. Okay, so these are the very common famous places that people go for pilgrimage. So the first one, I'll give you just overview now and then we'll go in detail of each of the temple. The first one is the Pancha Bhuta Stalams. Pancha means five and Bhuta are elements and Stalam is temple. So this temple there in this set there is five temples. All these five temples represents five elements and all of these are dedicated to Lord Shiva. So this is the Panchabhuta Stalams. The next one is the Aru Padai Veedu. All this temple, six, there are six. Aru means six. So six abodes of Lord Muruga. And there's a different stories why this temple came about. So we'll cover that later. So in this set, there is six temples that we will cover. And then the last one we will cover today is Trishtali Yatra. Three means your number three, and the Yatra is the pilgrimage. So in this Trishtali Yatra, what is special is where you have to visit three places, and when you visit these three places, you will resolve three debts in your life. We will go in detail what are those three debts that you will pay off in these three places, and what are those three places here. Okay, so besides these three that we're going to cover today, there are also other famous pilgrimage sites like Chardham. Okay, Chardham means char means four. So there's four different places that you will go here, where you will go to Gangotri near River Ganga, Yamunotri near River Yamuna, Badrinath and Kedarnath. Okay, so these places are religious sites, and they are places for Vishnu and Lord Shiva as well. In these places, people go pilgrimage. These are all hillside regions, very snowy places, and where people go and do their pilgrimage. The next one is Mukti Kshetra. Mukti means seven, so seven different temple in seven different sacred cities. Why is it known as sacred cities? Is because it is believed in these seven places they are incarnation of the deity that happened in these places. For example, Ayodhya is where Rama was born, which is the seventh incarnation of Lord Vishnu. So as such, there are places where it is believed that the deity itself were born in these places and they lived their life there. Okay, so those are Mukti Kshetras. And the last one is Sabarimala Yatra. Sabarimala Yatra is specifically dedicated to Lord Ayyappa. It's a pilgrimage that people go to Sabarimala. Sabarimala is the hill where the temple is. So people go through a vrata of 40 days, and they do a journey from to up the mountains to Sabarimala. It's a pilgrimage specifically for Lord Ayyappa. Okay, so these are the six famous ones. Beside this, there are also many almost at the end, after I cover all these first three, then we'll go through the other things that are there, but it's that people go to and visit the temples there. Okay, so as such, so the first set that we're going to cover is, there's 5 temples in this set. It is known as the Panchabhuta Sthalams. Okay, so we have 5 elements: earth, fire, space, water, and air. These 5 elements are also connected to ourselves. So if you see this small note up here, right? So the 5 elements, you actually can find it inside yourself. It is shown that these 5 elements is not separate from you, and you have everything inside you as well. So for example, earth, the minerals that you have in your bone is similar to how earth has minerals in the soil. Okay, so it represents the element of earth. The next one is fire. Fire is the digestive acid in your stomach that dissolve all your food. Okay, digestive acid is very corrosive. It has a lot of heat in it, so that's why it represents fire. And the space here represents the emptiness within the molecules in our body. Okay, there's some spaces. If you learn science, there's also molecule which is compact, and then you see molecules which are separate to each other. Okay, so those are the spaces that is meant here. The next one is water. Water is your blood. If you see blood, means it's like water basically, but it's in red color. Okay, so that is blood, or represent the element of water. And the last one is air, which represents oxygen, the oxygen that you breathe in, and the carbon dioxide that you breathe out. So this is how the 5 elements are connected to you. So these 5 elements, in India, there is a temple that dedicated specifically for these 5 elements, and all these temples are Lord Shiva is the presiding deity. I mean, the main deity in this temple. So we will look into in detail more of where are these 5 temples located in India, and what are the special things that is in this temple. Okay, so the first one is the Ekambareshwara temple. So this Ekambareshwara temple is for the element earth, and earth in Sanskrit is known as Prithvi. Okay, and the residing deity in this temple is known as Prithvi Lingam. Lingam is specifically for Lord Shiva, and this temple is located in Kanchipuram. Okay, and what is the special thing how this temple came about is, once goddess Parvati on the river bank, she was doing prayers for Lord Shiva. So she could not find anything to represent Lord Shiva. So what she did, she took the mud that was in the river bank and shaped it up to a linga, and then she started to do prayers to Lord Shiva. At that time, Shiva wanted to test her devotion. So what he did, he asked Goddess Ganga to come and disturb the penance. And despite the Goddess Ganga disturbing, and then there was flood and everything, Parvati held tight to the linga and kept on praying. So Lord Shiva was impressed with this, and then blessed that place, and that a temple would be built on his name here. Okay, so the linga that she made with the mud is still present in this temple. And because if you normally you put water and you on the mud it will dissolve. So the abhishekam in this temple is done with jasmine oil so that the lingam does not dissolve. And the special thing about this jasmine oil is it has low density. That means it doesn't dissolve the sand easily. Okay, and in this temple also there's one mango tree, where if you see normally near your house or anywhere else, if you see a mango tree, there'll be many mangoes hanging on the tree. But this tree in this temple, at one point of time you only can see one mango. You won't have many mangoes. That is one another special thing about this temple. Okay, so this is the Ekambareshwara temple dedicated for the element earth in Kanchipuram. Okay, so the next temple is the Jambukeshwara temple. Jambukeshwara temple is located in Tiruchi, and the element that is worshipped here is water, or known as Apa in Sanskrit, or Varuna also you can call water. Okay, and the reciting deity is known as Appulingam or Jambuka, which is water, and it is in Tiruchi. Okay, so the special thing about this uh, temple is there is a flowing water underneath the temple, which represents the element of water here. Okay, and the reciting deity, as I mentioned, is known as Jambukeshwara, and another famous deity in this temple is also known as Sri Akilandeshwari. Okay, so there's a video coming up of how this temple come about, so that you understand better. There's a story behind it, an elephant and a spider story that is coming up in the next video. And in this temple, normally when you visit, when they do the abhishekam and everything, you will get a prasadam, which is a jamun fruit you will get. Okay, so you'll watch the video next on how this temple came about and one interesting story about the temple.
Jambukeshwara Temple, Kovil, is a famous Shiva temple in Tiruchirappalli district in the state of Tamil Nadu, India. Tiruvannaikal is one of the 5 major Shiva temples of Tamil Nadu, or Panchabhuta Sthalam, representing the Mahabhut, or 5 great elements. This temple represents the element of water, or Neer in Tamil. Devotees believe that once Devi Parvati made fun of Lord Shiva's penance for the improvement and welfare of the world. So Shiva asked her to go to the earth from Kailash, or Shiva's abode, to perform penance. Parvati, in the form of Akilandeshwari, as per Shiva's wish, found Jambu forest, or Kovil, to conduct her penance. Hence she made a lingam out of water of river Kaveri under the Vain Navel tree and commenced her worship. Therefore, the lingam is known as Appulingam, which means water lingam. Shiva at last gave darshan to Akilandeshwari and taught her Shivagnana. Akilandeshwari took Upadesh, or lessons, facing east from Shiva, who stood facing west. Also, Malyavan and Pushpadant were 2 Shiva Ganas, or disciples. They always were on conflict over something or other, and once Malyavan cursed Pushpadant to become an elephant on earth. The latter cursed the other to become a spider. The elephant and the spider came to Jambukeshwaram and continued their Shiva worship. The elephant collected water from river Kaveri and conducted ablution to the lingam under the Jambu tree every day. Shiva, in the form of Jambukeshwara, moved by the deep devotion of the two, relieved them from the curse. As an elephant worshipped Lord Shiva here, this place was famous as Tiruvannaika. Tiru means holy, Anai is elephant, and Ka means card, which means forest. Then later the name Tiruvannaika becomes Tiruvannaikavil and Tiruvannakoil. For committing the sin of killing the elephant, the spider was born as the king Cochin god Chola, meaning red-eyed king, and built 70 temples, and this temple is one among them. I hope you liked this video. I'll be making a new video on another.
So this is the story about the Jambukeshwara temple. So there are 2 stories that they mentioned just now about the Akilandeshwari, and another one is about the 2 Shivaganas, which they were reborn as the elephant and spider. Okay, so the next temple that we will look about is the Arunachaleshwara temple. So the Arunachaleshwara temple is the temple representing the element fire, or known as Agni in Sanskrit, and the deity here is known as Agni Lingam, fire lingam, and it is located in Tiruvannamalai. So in Tiruvannamalai, there's a big hill that you see in this picture. So there's a big hill, and it is very this temple is very famous because it is very famous for its similarly, they will actually light up Kartige uh, Deepam on top of the hill, and it is believed that you will see it from very far away. Okay, and this Shivalinga in this temple is also known as Tejo Linga. Tejo means brightness that you see, and one good thing that comes out, one moral value that this temple represent is that the fire. Remember when I did the devotional practice at home, when you did the Pancho Upachara Puja, there's one action that you perform. One of the step is to light up the lamp. So at that point of time, I mentioned that the lighting of the lamp actually give brightness to your life and remove all the ignorance and all the darkness and light up your wisdom. That was the purpose of lighting up the lamp and doing the prayers. Similarly, the light in this temple also represent that. It's to destroy all the darkness that you have and the ignorance that you have in your life and light up your life with more wisdom and knowledge. That is the purpose of the fire here. Okay, there's another story that comes about when remembering about this fire. So once Brahma and Vishnu had a fight, that who was superior than the other. So at that point, they were just arguing who is better than the other. And Shiva, what he did to test their devotion and everything, what Shiva did, he grew up into, he became a pillar of light, and it grew longer. So he challenged them that whoever can find the end of this pillar will be the uh, superior one. So what Vishnu did, he took the form of a bow and he flew down, and Brahma flew upwards. So they were going far away and going up, going down, going up, going up, and they could not find the end. And while he was going up, Brahma actually met this Ketaki flower who was coming down because it was used in prayers. So she was actually dropping down. So, and then he had started a conversation with this Ketaki flower and say, I'm going up. Have you seen the end of this pillar? And then this Ketaki flower said, I'm coming from up only. So, so you can say that you have actually found the end of it. But because it is very far away, I also coming down from very far away. So, what Brahma did, okay, he believed that he found the end of the pillar. He went down, and then Vishnu was very tired and he agreed that he did not find the end. And Brahma lied that he actually found the end of the pillar. And this Ketaki flower also supported him, that saying that he has found the end. Then Lord Shiva took his actual form and then mentioned that you both lied just to show who is superior to other. Because of that, you'll be cursed that Brahma was cursed that there will not be any temple built for him, and that's the reason you won't find any temple dedicated to Brahma. You'll find temple for Vishnu, you'll find for temple for Krishna, Shiva, and everyone, but you won't find any temple dedicated to Brahma. And this Ketaki flower, it was cursed that it would not be used during any prayers. For any puja or anything, you won't use this Ketaki flower. So that was a curse that they got about. Okay, so that is a story of this fire and temple. Okay, yes, someone raised their hand. Any doubts?
Teacher, I
Yes.
also study in one book in one temple in India. They use this Ketaki flower only at Mahasivaratri. Also, I was
Mm,
studying about
okay.
that.
Okay, thank you for sharing the information. Okay, so that is the story about this Arunachaleshwara temple. Okay, let's see the fourth temple, which is the Kalahasti temple. So this Kalahasti, the five temples that we have covered, we will cover in this series of the Panchabhutta Sthalam. Out of the four temples are located in Tamil Nadu state. Tamil Nadu is a state in India, similar to how we have Selangor, Pera, and all this. So Tamil Nadu is one state. So the four temples are located in the Tamil Nadu state, and one temple is located in Andhra Pradesh state. It's another state in India. So this Kalahasti temple, which represents the element of air or Vayu, is in the state of Andhra Pradesh. So this is how the temple looks like. It's all white. Okay, and the residing deity, the Shiva in this temple, is known as Vayu Lingam. And how, so air is something that you cannot see in your naked eye, you only can feel it. So how they see that the air element is present in this temple is in the altar, in the main sanctum where the deity is, there is a flame. I mean, there's a lamp there, and we always can see the flame flickering. That means it blows right and left, but it doesn't blow out. So there's a very minute air that blows in the temple that do not blow out. It's not strong enough to blow out, but it keeps the lamp flickering. That how they felt the presence of air in the temple. Okay, and this is the only temple in the whole India that opens during solar and lunar eclipse. Normally during the eclipses all the temples will be closed, but this temple will be specifically open for during solar and lunar eclipse, the sun and moon eclipses. Okay, so this is the thing about this temple, Kalahasti temple, which represents the element of air. So the next one is the Thillai Nadarajar temple. So the Thillai Nadarajar temple is in Chidambaram and is dedicated to Lord Shiva and represents the element of space or Akash. And the deity here is known as Agaya Lingam, the lingam. And besides the Agaya Lingam in this temple, another deity that is prayed upon in this temple is the dancing Shiva, which is the Lord Nataraja. Normally, if you learn Bharatanatyam, this is the deity that you pray upon. So Nataraja is very famous in this temple. And one another story about this temple is how they worship the space is it is actually a space, and they do arati in the form of space where a mirror is draped with golden garland and bilva leaves. Okay, this is a sanctum where the praise is done. They worship the space, the Shiva in the form of space. Okay, that is a special thing about this temple. There is a video coming up next that will show a journey and some interesting facts about this temple, so you can follow the video. There are some numbers that you can see here, right? There's 9 entrances and all this. It is coming up in the video, and they'll see some explanation about the video, a virtual journey to the temple. Okay, this Thillai Nadaraja temple. So this is the Thillai Nadaraja temple. So we have covered all the 5 temples that are dedicated to Lord Shiva in the pilgrimage site. So normally people visit this. There's no specific order how to visit. It's based on the convenience on how your flight is and where you are landing and everything. So people will go and visit all these 5 temples dedicated to Lord Shiva. So there's Ekambareshwara temple, there's Jambukeshwara temple, there is the Arunachaleshwara temple, Kalahasti temple, and the Thillai Nadaraja temple. So all these temples representing some element, the 5 elements that I've mentioned earlier, and all of this is dedicated to Lord Shiva. So this is the first set of temples that we have went through. So the next set is the Arupadai Veedu. So this Arupadai Veedu is dedicated to Lord Muruga, and all this temple, there's a reason why all this temple came about. Okay, so the first set is the first temple that there's no in this order. I mean, this 6 also, there's no specific order. Okay, so based on the convenience, people will go and visit all this temple. As long as you visit all this temple, it is fine. There's no specific order for you to go and visit this temple. Okay, so the first one is Tiruchendur. So Tiruchendur is in the district of Thoothukudi, and it is built to mark the victory of Lord Murugan over the demon king Surapatman. Okay, so this temple was built in remembrance of Muruga's victory over the demon Surapatman. So Surapatman was a demon who terrorized the world, and then Muruga went and killed him. And when Surapatman, actually at the end, it was a war, a many days war. That eventually what will happen, Surapatman has the ability to actually transform into anything that he want. He had that boon that he can transform into anything. So at the end, when he knew he was going to get defeated, he will transform into a tree, and then Muruga's veil will go and pierce the tree, and the tree will break into half, and the first half will actually become the peacock Mail, which will become the vehicle of Muruga, and the second part will become a cockerel, which will become the flag of Lord Muruga, the flag that you will see in the next slide. Okay, and so this specific event of the war will actually be reenacted. That means they will do it again during the Kandasasti festival, and they call this enactment as Sura Samharam. That means the killing of Surapadman by Muruga. So they will reenact this scene. So there's a video coming up on how they will actually reenact the scene in this Tiruchendur temple, and this temple is in the seashore. That means near the beach. Normally, all the Muruga temples that you see, you have to climb up the stairs. So this temple is actually near the seashore. Okay, so this is the temple, and this is the flag that I mentioned just now. Okay, and this is how the temple looks like. This is the Tiruchendur Murugan temple. The Muruga in this temple looks like this. Okay, so the next is the video of the Sura Samharam festival, that they actually reenact the entire war. It is in Tamil, but you just follow the. If you don't understand Tamil, it's fine. You just follow the war. The enactment of the war that will happen in this. Okay.
திருச்செந்தூர் முருகன் கோவிலில் கந்தசஷ்டி திருவிழாவின் முக்கிய நிகழ்வான சூரசம்ஹாரம் கோலாகலமாக நடைபெற்றது. யாகசாலை பூஜையுடன் கந்தசஷ்டி விழாவின் முக்கிய நிகழ்வான சூரசம்ஹாரத்திற்காக திருச்செந்தூர் கடற்கரையில் எழுந்தருளிய முருகப்பெருமான் சூரனை வேல் கொண்டு வதம் செய்தார். முதலில் யானை முகம் கொண்டு வரும் தாராகசுரனை முருகப்பெருமான் வதம் செய்தார். இதற்கு அடுத்தபடியாக சிங்க முகம் கொண்டு உருமாறி வரும் சூரனை முருகப்பெருமான் வரம் செய்தார். இதை லட்சக்கணக்கான பக்தர்கள் பக்தி முழக்கத்துடன் கண்டு ரசித்தனர். மூன்றாவதாக அகம்பாவத்தின் மொத்த உருவான சூரபத்மனை முருகப்பெருமான் வதம் செய்த காட்சியை அரோகரா முழக்கம் விண்ணை பிளக்க பக்தர்கள் கண்டு பரவசமடைந்தனர். இறுதியில் மாமரமும் சேவலுமாக உருமாறும் சூரனை சேவலும் மயிலுமாக மாற்றி முருகப்பெருமான் தன்னுடன் ஆட்கொள்கிறார். சேவலை தனது கொடியாகவும் மயிலை தனது வாகனமாகவும் மாற்றி ஆட்கொள்கிறார். புகழ்பெற்ற சூரசம்ஹார விழாவையொட்டி பலத்த பாதுகாப்பு ஏற்பாடுகள் செய்யப்பட்டிருந்தன.
So this is the reenactment of the war and how the war actually took place when Muruga defeated Surapatma. So this happens in the Tiruchendur temple in Thoothukudi. Okay.
திருச்செந்தூர் முருகன் கோவில்.
So this is the temple, the first one that we have covered. The next one is the Palani temple. So Palani temple is in the Dindigul district, and the famous story is all the story that is you are very familiar with, which is the mango story, where Ganesha and Muruga were fighting for the mango, and then Ganesha actually will win the mango. So Muruga will get angry, and he will take off all his jewels and all the wealth that he has, and he will go and stand in this Palani hill as he was angry with what has happened. Okay, and the deity, because it was a young Muruga which actually will go and stand in this, the deity in this temple is known as Kulandai Velayuda Sami. Kulandai means baby. Okay, so this temple is in Palani, and the picture, the Murugan in this temple, this is how the Murugan is in this temple will look like. He will take off all his jewels when he was angry, and this is where the temple actually decided you have to climb up to go and see this Murugan. Okay, so this is the story about this temple came about because of the mango story. Okay, so the next story, that the next temple that we'll look upon is the Swami Malay temple. So the special thing about this Swami Malay temple, it represents a teacher and a student concept. So what will happen, the story, you'll watch a video after this of how the story come out, but the main moral value in this Swami Malay temple is actually that Muruga will actually teach his father the meaning of the Pranava Mantram Om. So what this temple is actually trying to the story behind the moral value behind this temple is you don't have to be someone who is younger or older to teach something to someone. As long as you have the knowledge, the proper knowledge, and a proper knowledge, that means you know what you are telling, and you go and share it with someone or teach someone, it is good enough. So as long as you don't pass in wrong information, and you are humble enough when you are teaching and humble enough when you are listening, those are the things that is important here. Age does not matter to teach someone something. That is the moral value behind the story. So Muruga was very young when he actually taught his father the meaning of the Om, but he was humble enough to teach his father, and the father was humble enough to listen from him the meaning. Okay, so that's how this Swami Malay temple came about. So because Swami here means teacher, and the Malay is hill, so that's why the deity in this temple is known as Swami Malay Murugan temple. And this temple, there's a short sketch of how the story came about in the next slide. So we'll watch that video and understand further the story, how the story took place. Okay, so this is the Swami Malay temple. So the main entrance of the temple is here, and then you have to climb up the hills to go and visit the temple, the Murugan in the temple, and there are 60 steps for you to reach to the top of the temple, which represents the 60 years in the Tamil calendar. And the deity in the Swami Malay temple looks like this. Okay, so next is the video, the sketch that I mentioned of the story that took place around this temple.
Swami Malay is the fourth place in Arubadai Veedu. One day, Murugan was playing with Veerabhagu. Lord Brahma passed by that way. He didn't notice Muruga playing there. Noticing this, Muruga wanted to teach Brahma a lesson.
Stop there. Who are you? What do you do here?
I am Brahma. I am the creator of this world.
Is it? Then tell me the meaning of Pranava Mantra.
Brahma hesitated to answer.
Why are you not saying anything? Don't you know the answer even for this?
Murugan kept Brahma captive. Lord Shiva heard about this and came to see Murugan.
Muruga, what is this? Why are you behaving like this? Release Brahma at once.
Murugan listened to his father immediately. He released Brahma from the jail.
Okay, father, I released Brahma. As you said. Now, can you tell the meaning of Pranam Mantra?
I don't know, my son. Why don't you tell me? I will learn it from you.
Shiva asked as if he doesn't know anything.
Yes, but you should fold your hands and listen to me like a student.
Shiva did as Muruga said. Murugan whispered the meaning of Pranava Mantra in Shiva's ears. As Murugan taught his father, he got the name Swaminathan. Since the temple is on the top of the hill, it got the name Swami Malai. Swami Malai is near a town called Kumbakonam.
Okay, so this is the temple of Swami, story behind the temple of Swami Malai. Okay, the next temple that we will look upon in this series is the Tiruparankundram temple. So in this temple, Lord Muruga will get married to Devani, and the special it is in the district of Madurai. Okay, and he will get married to Devani here as a gratitude after he defeated Surapadman. So the one important event in this temple is normally in all the temples, the abhishekam or the praise is done to the deity itself. I mean the whoever deity that residing in this temple. But in this temple, the abhishekam is done to the veil which represents Lord Muruga in this Tiruparankundram temple. Okay, so this is how the deity in this temple look like. So this is the Devani, his first consort, and this is how the temple looks like from outside. Okay, and this is how he looks in this temple. Okay, this is the Tiruparankundram temple. So the next one is the Palamudir Chole temple, which is in Madurai. And in this temple, he will actually, this is the only temple among all the 6 temples where Muruga will appear with both Valli and Devani, his 2 consorts. Okay, so there's one interesting story of the Avvayar story in this temple. Okay, there's a video coming up after this on the story. But if you know Tamil, right, there's one old movie known as Kandan Karunai. Okay, so in that movie, it's a very old movie. It's in black and white. If I'm not mistaken, it's in black and white. Oh, it's that color. I think got color. Okay, so yeah, in that movie, they will actually cover all the 6 places and the story behind how this actual temple came about. So you can go and watch the movie when you normally during Thaipusam time, they will play it in Astro. So even I think the movie is in YouTube also. If you have the time, if you understand Tamil, you can actually go and watch the movie so that you understand better how the temples came about. So you have a visual treat of how this stories actually took place. Okay, so we'll watch the next video. This is how the deity in the temple looks like, and this is the Palamudir Chola temple. And next is the story of Avvayar and how Avvayar was a great devotee of Lord Muruga. She actually will be going to a temple where she actually meet Lord Muruga, and the story actually will take place. Okay, this is the story.
Palamudir Cholai. The 6th place of Arubade Veedu is Palamudir Cholai. Let us see the story of this town. Once there was an old lady called Avvayar. She was a great devotee of Lord Muruga. One day, she was on her way to Madurai.
Muruga, I am very tired. I have walked a long distance. and my legs are paining. I want to relax. I wish I could find some shade here.
The old lady looked here and there. She saw a tree at a distance.
Thank God, there is a big tree. Let me rest for a while there.
The old lady Avai sat down under the tree. She heard a voice there.
Grandma? Grandma?
Avai could not find where the voice was coming from.
Are you searching me, Grandma? I'm here on top of the tree.
Avai looked upwards. A small boy was sitting on a branch of the tree.
Who are you? What are you doing here?
I am a shepherd. The blueberries in this tree will be tasty. I came here to eat it. Do you want some berries?
I'm not hungry. I don't want, my boy. Anyway, thanks for asking.
Oh, Grandma, why don't you just taste this fruit? You know how tasty it is?
Okay, you shake the tree. When the berries fall, I'll take some.
Yes, Grandma. What kind of fruit do you want? Hot or cold?
Avai did not understand anything. How can fruits be hot or cold? But she didn't bother about it. She thought for a while, and a little later,
My little boy, give me cold fruit.
the boy shook the tree. The berries fell down. When Avai took them, it was full of dust. So she blew them.
Why are you blowing, Grandma? Is it hot? I gave you only cold fruit.
Avai was shocked. She stared at the little boy.
Hey, you seem to be so intelligent. You cannot be an ordinary boy. Tell me the truth. Who are you?
The little boy shepherd turned to Lord Muruga.
Can't you identify me, Avai?
Avai felt happy. The story behind the temple at Paramudircholai is this. The temple is situated in the middle of the gardens near the hills of Kallaraga temple at Madurai.
Okay. So this is a story in Tamil. The phrase of the hot and cold one is a very famous phrase. Suttapalam venuma, sudada palam venuma. That means you want a hot fruit or cold fruit. That's what is translated in English in this sketch. Okay, so that is the fifth temple, and the last temple is the Tiruttani temple. So in the Tiruttani temple, Muruga will get married to Valli, he's another consort, and this is the place where the temple was built so that he could rest after the war that he took place, that he killed Surapatman. So you'll come to Tiruttani and you will get rest after the killing of Surapatman. Okay, so in this Tiruttani temple, he will appear with Valli, Tiruparankuntram with Devane, and in Paramudircholai, he will appear with both his consorts. Okay, so the other temples, he actually will stand on his own. Okay, so these are the six temples that are part of this Arupadai Veedu. So we have covered two series so far. One is the Panchabhuta Sthalam dedicated to Lord Shiva, and the second one is the Arupadai Veedu dedicated to Lord Muruga. Okay, so this is Tiruttani temple, and this is how the deity in the temple looks like. Okay, so the next set that we will look into is the Trishtali Yatra. So when I started the class, I mentioned the Trishtali Yatra is the pilgrimage that you go visit for 3 places and it resolves 3 depths in your life. So depths, what is the depths that you have in your life? So the first depth that you have is for yourself. That means all the good things that you get, all the karma good karma, whatever you have today, all the wealth and money, everything is a debt that you have to pay off. Okay, you have received based on your blessings, which you will pay off at the end. So that is the first step that you have for yourself. The second debt is to the gods or the deity of your choice. So the debt that you are paying off here is you are thankful for whatever that you have received is a debt that you have received, and you are paying off that to resolve that debt. And the third one is to your ancestors. Why you have to pay debts to your ancestors is because in each of your family you have a heritage of your own. You have a practice that you go through uh, from your family. That means something that your grandmother would have taught your parents, and then your parents would have taught you. So how your grandparents know is because their parents had taught them about this heritage. It can be anything. It can be how you celebrate a specific festival, or how you do a certain things or certain actions in your home. Every family has their own practice, how they do their puja, or how they study, or how they go through certain things. So you are thanking for the heritage that is passed down generation after generation in your family. So since you can't see all your great great grandparents, so you are doing this puja or these prayers and this pilgrimage to say thank you for whatever you have today, all the heritage that been passed down to you. So this heritage that you have in your family will pass down to your next generation. That means your children, your grandchildren will also one day will do the same, paying these debts in their life. I mean, thanking you for all the good things that you passed down to yourself. So that's why it's important for you to learn all the good things and pass down to the next generation. So whatever you learn now, you have to pass it down to your next generation as well, so that this whole thing continue after generation and is not getting forgotten. So these are the three debts. One is to God, one is to ancestors, and one is to yourself. So how this whole Tristali Yatra is a pilgrimage where you visit three places and you resolve these three debts in your life. So the first place, the starting point of this Tristali Yatra is Rameshwaram. So you go to Rameshwaram first, you will pray to Lord Shiva, and you will make three lingas, Shiva lingas with sand. Okay, you will sculpture it in with sand, and then you will go to Prayag. Prayag is the first place that you will visit. So in Prayag, there's a river there, River Ganga. You will immerse yourself, you will worship, and you will dissolve that first linga in this temple, in this Prayag river, in Ganga river, and it will fulfill the debt that you have for yourself. So the first place you will go to Prayag, and you will fulfill the debt that you have for yourself. Then after Prayag, you will go to Kasi. Kasi again, you will take in Kasi also there's a river Ganga that is flowing through. So you will take a dip in Ganga, and you will dissolve the second linga that you have, and this will fulfill the debt that you have for deities or God. This is the second place you will go. After Kasi, you will go to a trip Gaya. The next place is Gaya. In Gaya, you will actually pay off the debt that you for your ancestors. So in this place at the river bank, you'll actually make a rice ball with black sesame seeds, which is known as pindas, and you will dissolve it with the linga that you have. Okay, so this there's three places that you will do. So the first offering will be done in river Palguna, the second offering for Vishnu Pada, and the third one is known as Vata Vriksha. So normally, if you see, I'm not sure if your house, during a death anniversary of someone, people will do prayers. At that point of time, they will hold these rice balls, and then they will dissolve it in water. Okay, and they will chant some mantras and dissolve it. It's actually mimicking whatever they do in Gaya, because we can't be going to Gaya every time to do the prayers. Okay, some families don't have the financial support to do it, so they actually mimic that entire thing by doing it at home, and you will chant that. Actually, as part of the chanting, you will actually tell that I'm doing this in as replacement of doing it in river Ganga. You will actually is part of the chanting itself when you do it here. Okay, so the first one, you go to Prayag, you will fulfill the debt for yourself, and then you'll go to Kasi, fulfill the debt to your deities, and then you go to Gaya, you fulfill your debt to your ancestors. Then you go back again to Prayag, you take a dip in Ganga, that you have done all these three depths, you have fulfilled all of it, and then you go to Rameshwaram again, and then you do the Abhishekam and pray to Shiva. So this is the entire trip. So the first two sets that we saw earlier, which is the Panchabhutta Sthalam and the Arupadai, there's no specific order. You can go anywhere, any point of time you can go. But this one, there's an order for it. That means from Rameshwaram, you go to Prayag, Prayag, you go to Kasi, Kasi, you go to Gaya, Gaya, you come back to Prayag, and then you go back to Rameshwaram. So it's a circle that you go through. So this is the entire pilgrimage consists of 3 different places, and you do what the actions that you perform in places. This is known as Trishtali Yatra. So this is how Prayag, Rameshwaram, Kasi and Gaya is here. So Gaya is actually, the river Ganga is evaporating because of the heat and everything. It is getting dried out. So this is the river Ganga here. So this is how the temples look like in Prayag, Rameshwaram, Kasi and Gaya. Okay. Any doubts so far for all these 3 sets that we have covered today so far? No. Okay. Good. If you have anything, you can just post it in the chat. I'll try to answer once we cover this whole series. Okay. So the next one is besides of what we have. Besides what we have covered, the 3 sets, there are also other pilgrimage sites that people normally will go and visit. Okay. The first one is the Navagraha Stalas. So the Navagraha Stalas is, Navagraha means the 9 planets. So normally if you go to a temple, right, you'll see there's a specific place, there is the 9 planets, and people will go around of it 9 times, especially on Saturdays you will see. Okay, where you actually you'll light up the lamp and you'll go around it 9 times. So those are the Navagraha statues. And in India, there is temple for each of the Navagraha. And the one why people go and visit this Navagraha temple is to eliminate all the bad effects of the planets, and to get all the good vibration and vibes in life. So that's why they go and visit this Navagraha temple. So next one is the Kumbh Mela festival. This one is a festival where it takes place in 4 different river banks, okay, over the course of 12 years. So every 3 years, this Kumbh Mela festival will take place. It will take place at different places. The first one is the Allahabad, where the river Ganga, river Yamuna, and river Saraswati will meet at one point, and that point is known as Allahabad. And it is known as Triveni Sangamam, and this Kumbh Mela festival will happen in this Allahabad, where these 3 rivers meet, or it will happen in Haridwar, where there is river Ganga, Nashik, where there is river Godavari, and Ujjain, where this river Shipra is. So this will take place in river banks, this Kumbh Mela festival, and they pray to the goddess in this river. Okay, that is the Kumbh Mela festival. It's a very famous festival. Millions of people will go to this place and do prayers. You can go and just search Kumbh Mela in YouTube, and you will see the amount of crowd that actually will go to this Kumbh Mela festival. Okay. The next one is the Amarnath Yatra. Amarnath Yatra is a 6 days yatra. It's a very mountainous region where you go and do your prayers to Lord Shiva in this yatra. The next one is the Venkateshwara temple. The Venkateshwara temple is the Tirupati temple, where it's in the state of Andhra Pradesh. And people normally will, it's a Balaji temple, Venkateshwara temple, and normally people will go here to bow their head, and then the very famous prasadam is the laddu in this temple. So that is this Venkateshwara temple. Okay, then there is also Rishikesh for Lord Shiva, very famous also in mountainous region, very snowy region. People will go and perform their religious activities in here. There's a bridge in this near this place called Bhimpol. It's a very famous bridge in this place. And then the last one here is Shakti Pita. Shakti Pita is, there is around 51 to 108 Pitas. Pitas mean temple, where in this all this 51 to 108 they worship different forms of Shakti, in the form of Akhilandeshwari or in the form of Meenakshi, Kamakshi, different forms of Shakti they pray upon in this Shakti Pita. So it's not possible for you to visit all 51 at a point of time, but it's a pilgrimage. Visiting one temple in this whole set is also known as a pilgrimage site. So pilgrimage doesn't mean you have to go to 5 temples, 6 temples, or 3 temples. There's no thing. It can be one temple also, is also known as pilgrimage. Just now I also covered Sabrimala Yatra, where it's only a one temple that you visit, but it is actually the entire yatra, the entire journey that calls it a pilgrimage, known as pilgrimage. Okay, so these are the different types, different places that people go. Besides this, there are also many more pilgrimages. You can just go and Google pilgrimage sites in India. You'll get a long list of it, and it does not have to be a temple. It can be a tree, Also, there's also some pilgrimage sites that are preyed upon just a tree itself, and there's some special unique things about this tree. Okay, and there's also other thing like you go visit Sai Baba in Puttaparthi. All these are also known as pilgrimage sites. Okay, so we will do a quick exercise of what we have learned so far. So you will see a set of questions that are coming up about the Pancha Bhuta Sthalams. So you can take out a book or a paper that you have, and then you can just write the answers for these questions, and then we will discuss. So there's a total of 7 questions. So we will discuss it. I'll give 2 minutes on each slides for you to write down the answers, and then we will discuss the answers. So this is the first set. So the first question is, name the 5 basic elements in Sanskrit and English. So during when I thought about the Panchabhuta Sthalam, I told you what is the English elements and what is it known as in Sanskrit. So those 5 you listed down, and then how each element is seen in yourself. I also gave that example. And the third one is, what is the secret of the Chidambaram Rahasya? What is it? So I give it 2 minutes. 9:33 now. 9:35 we will discuss the answers for these 3 questions. You can write it down. Okay, let's discuss the first 3 answers for these questions. So the first one, name the 5 basic elements in Sanskrit and English. So these are the answers. So water is the first one, also known as Apa or Varuna. The second one is fire, which is known as Agni. Third one is earth, known as Prithvi. Fourth one is wind, known as Vayu. And the fifth one is space, known as Akash. Okay. The second question, explain how each element is seen in the creation of the human body. So this one is the 5 elements just now, and how is it related to your body? So as I mentioned, earth was bone or skin, fire is the acid in your stomach, the space is the emptiness within, water is blood, and air is either oxygen or carbon dioxide. So that's the answer for the second question. Third one is, what is the secret of Chidambaram? Is the secret of the Chidambaram is worshipping of space which is covered in gold cloth in bilva leaves. That is the secret of this Chidambaram. Okay, so these are the answers for these 3 questions. The next set of questions is, give 2 names for the presiding deity of water. Explain why the Lord can be invoked in any form. Which 2 elements do not have a form? So you can write down the answers. We'll discuss in another 2 minutes. So okay. So the first question, give 2 names for the presiding deity of water. Can you all put in the chat what is the 2 names? If you know the answers. Two names presiding the deity of water. I've covered this in the last slide as well. Not Jambukeshwara. This one is the element, and then there's 2 names for the Sanskrit name for this element of water. Not Shiva. There's a deity that represents the water element in Sanskrit. No, Tiruvanaivakal is the place. Okay, this is the answer. It's either known as Varuna, Appa, or Ganga, other deities of water, representing water. Okay, this answer. Second question. Explain why the Lord can be invoked in any form. Okay, this one. The answer to it is because the creation is non-separate from the creator. Meaning, remember the very first story that I mentioned, that in the Ekambareshwara temple where Parvati, because she could not find the uh, statue of linga. So what she did, whatever mud she could get from the river bank, she sculptured it in the form of linga, and then she did the prayers. So what they are trying to say is, you don't have to have the sculpture or the deity to do a prayers. It can be in any form, as long as you believe it looks like Ganesha or it looks like Shiva, and then you do your prayers. So this is because the creation, which is the mud that Parvati used, is non-separate from the creator. That means the creator is you and the Lord invoked in it. So that is what is mentioned here. Okay. The next question. Which two elements do not have a form? Of the 5 elements that we learned today, which 2 element you cannot do not have a form? That means it doesn't have a shape to it. Yes, right. Water and wind. Space and wind. Water, there is a form to it. You put it in a glass of in a glass, you will have a shape of the water. Okay, so the answer is space and air or wind. Okay, space also does not have a form. It is, or you can't see it in your naked eyes. You can only wind also same. You cannot see in your naked eyes. You can only feel it. Okay. The last question. So there are 5 temples. I want you to match these 5 temples to the element that is we discussed today. So the Chidambaram temple is for which element? Kalahasti is for which one? Tiruvannamalai, Tiruchirappalli and Kanchipuram. These are the cities where the temple is, and I want you to match each of the temples and the element map to it. Give you 1 minute. It's 9:43. 9:44. We'll discuss the answer. So this is the answer for it. So the Chidambaram temple represents space, the Kalahasti temple wind, Tiruvannamalai fire, Tiruchirappalli water, and the Kanchipuram temple is for the element of earth. Okay, so this is the answer. Okay. So a quick recap before we do the another exercise. I think there's another crossword. There's crossword puzzle in the book, page 75. If I'm not mistaken, please correct me if I'm wrong. So before we go and complete that one, so we'll just do a quick recap of the temples that we have covered, the pilgrimage sites that we have covered. So we have covered the Panchabhuta Sthalam, the 5 temples representing 5 elements dedicated to Lord Shiva, and the 6 abodes of Lord Muruga known as Arupadai Veedu, and the Trishtali Yatra where you go to Rameshwaram, Prayag, Kasi and Gaya to fulfill the 3 depths that you have in your life. And we have covered all the other ones, Chardham, Rishikesh, Badrinath, Kedarnath, Sabrimala, Kumbh Mela. What is Kumbh Mela festival? All this we have covered. I've given a just overview. So if you want to know more about these temples, you can actually go and Google it out. Everything is there. You can watch videos how there's a virtual journey. They'll give you a whole overview of how the temple looks like. All these are there in YouTube. So you can go in. So this is just high level because we have very short time, 1.5 hours only we have. So I only can cover these 3. So the rest you can, why I've mentioned here is so that you can go and look it up if you're interested to go and visit these places. Okay. So let's do the exercise that you have in your book, page 75. I think you have a crossword puzzle.
What page, teacher? Teacher.
Yes.
What number page is it?
75.
Okay.
You have a crossword puzzle. I'll share you the answers. After this, do first. It's 9:47. I give you until 3 minutes.
Okay.
For those who don't have the book, you have not received it, this is the crossword puzzle. So these are the questions. You can write down the questions or the answers only. I don't think you can finish in another 2 minutes. Keep doing. If you can't finish, it's okay. I'll share the answers in the group later, so that the Friday class students also, and you also can cover. So all the questions that you have now are something that we have discussed in the class. So you can write down first. Later, if you can't find any answers, then I'll share the answers.
Password. Yes.
Let's do it together. Okay, the first one. The mango story happened here. You can put the answers in the chat if you know. Number 5. This one. Number 5 across. Palani, correct. So I feel Palani. Okay, number 5. Palani. Okay. Then we go across. We go across first, then we go down. Okay. This bridge can be found in Badrinath. Number 7 across, this one. Anyone know the answers? I mentioned just now when I covered Badrinath. I just gave what is a famous bridge in this temple near this place. Anyone remember? No? It is Bhima Pool. How you spell is Bhimapul. Bhima Pool. I repeat again. Bhimapul. Okay, 7 across is Bhima Pool. Number 9. Which demon did Lord Muruga kill and at Tiruchendur temple and was built to mark as a victory? In Tiruchendur temple, the video that we watch, right? The enactment of the war. Who is the demon? What is the name of the demon? Surapatman. Correct. Surapatman is 9 across. So it's this one. Surapadman. Okay, Surapadman. Okay, Surapatman. Number 10. Temple represented
Again, how to spell? What's the
Sura
next? Sura Pad.
Yeah, DMAN.
Teacher,
Yes.
how to spell what? Surabadbed.
You see in the chat, right? You open the chat, you see Navanish has shared the correct spelling. You can copy from that. Okay, I'll share quickly later, but we'll go through the answers, okay, first. Okay. Number 10. Temple represented by the element of air for Lord Shiva. What is the name of the temple? Correct. Kalahasti. 10 across is Kalahasti. Kalahasti. The spelling is given by Anishka and Haishwini in the chat. You can open and see the spelling. Okay, Kalahasti. Next, Sabrimala Yatra Vrata is observed for how many days? 40. FORTY. 11. 40. Okay. Next, pilgrimage center. I remember I told pilgrimage is known as yatra, and the place that you visit it's known as, there's a word I've given when I started the class. Anyone remember? No? It is Tirtha. TIRTHA. I repeat again. TIRTHA. Tirtha. Okay. Let's go down. Trishtali Yatra covers Kasi, Prayag, and it's one down. There's 4-letter word. Gaya. Correct. GAYA. Gaya. Okay, next. The element worshipped in Arunachaleshwara temple is Agni. Correct. AGNI. Agni. 2 down. Number 3. A pilgrimage does not benefit a person unless he or she has an attitude of devotion. Correct. 3 down is devotion. DEVOTION. Next, the offering of Ganga water to Lord Shiva is considered to be meritorious. At where? 4 down. Rameshwaram. Okay, RAMESWARAM. Rameshwaram. Okay. 6th one. Famous for the Kumbh Mela festival held once every 12 years. 6 down. Anyone know the answer? I remember I told 3 different places. There's Allahabad, there is one more, and then there is Ujjain, and then there's another one more. So I'm asking for the Allahabad. It's not. It's not Allahabad. The answer is Haridwar. 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 Okay. And the last one, Amman temple dedicated to the mother goddess. This one was part of the Shakti Pita. I just gave an overview. Which Amman temple? I mentioned the deity that is prayed in this temple. It is the Kamakshi Amman temple. KAMAKSHI. Okay. So I'll just give you quickly. I'll share the screen for the answers. You can take a screenshot. This is the answers. These are the answers. Okay, just take a screenshot quickly. If you don't know the spelling, you can take a quick screenshot. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so that's all for today's class. Before we end the class, there's some message from Teacher Suji that next week we don't have a class. So your next class is on 25th of September.